Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. And I am your Sunny Arches, and we're here today to do a New Year reading for Geminis. Yes, this is Gemini's turn. Gemini's reading for the new year of 2022. Um, so a couple of things real quick. I love perfumes. It's been a minute since I was collecting them. Started collecting them recently, and thought that I would integrate that with the reading. So with these types of reading, I think the Marc Jacobs collection is pretty fitting. And we have the Daisy Dream for the air signs. Okay, it seems to be a bit of uh it just seems to go well. And it's something that I was um in, intuitively called to pick out because I looked at the what I have so far, and I thought that was a good one. What I have told some of the other signs already, excuse me, is that in case if they don't have this one in their collection, that is somewhat of a similar scent to this, especially specifically air signs, because of your perfume, it has a similar scent to the one I'm about to recommend. Um, so it's up to you, really. But this one is a bit on the brighter note. It's the Clinique Happy. All right, so I'm just gonna spray a little bit of the Clinique Happy. I think this is a good one for anybody, no matter what your sign is, to have for this new year. Just to have, even if it's just to spray in your room or spray on your pillows, just something. It's a really nice scent, bit on the floral side, kind of crisp, very refreshing type of smell. And that's good because I feel like your reading is going to be a little bit intense, and that's okay. So for you guys, air signs, I believe that the Daisy Dream from the Marc Jacobs Daisy collection is more of a fit for you. Sorry, it's the light blue one, kind of like what, the Dolce and Gabbana one, like that kind of blue, sort of. Yeah, that might be a good one for you guys too. The that light blue, I forget. It's a light blue bottle. All right. So let me continue. So we're gonna do a New Year spread. We're gonna do the what I call the arrow spread. Is gonna have overall, underall energy for the year, and the themes that you're gonna be dealing with in love, career, and self, with two advice cards. After that, we will have. And so we're gonna use the Morgan Greer Tarot deck. Sorry, for the main spread, for the arrow spread. Okay. And then I have special messages for Gemini men for 2022 and special messages for um, Gemini women for 2022. And in case you're interested, like I said, this is Morgan Greer. Sorry, I don't have the box. And for this deck, we're using the Mystical Shaman Oracle. I can't talk today. The Mystical Shaman Oracle deck. Okay, I love this deck. I love it. Absolutely love it. And the Soulful Woman's deck. This is a beautiful, beautiful one. So I think it goes very well. It's been working out very well so far. I do want to tell you, let you know in advance, as you're watching the video, take a look at all the colors and all the elements that you see in the cards. Um, Believe it or not, and I thought this was extremely interesting, especially with my air signs, because I've already done Libra and Aquarius, that this blue happens to be in the cards and it's been a persistent theme. So, blue may be your color this year too, the light blues. Um, any blue, really, it's just all up to you. So, just something to think about, you know. So I'm gonna put these here to the side. We're gonna start getting the spread ready. I had the sage going; it went out already. All right. So our message for our Geminis who are inclined to listen to this message for the new year 2022. I do want to remind you, I read from the sun sign perspective mainly just because I want you to be sure if this is your message or not. However, you are invited to check out any of your other other signs under all, to get a clearer and better picture of what you can expect. Um, and I guess for the purpose of this reading, of what you can expect for this new year. Okay, love, career, self. And we're going to end it with two advice cards there. I will not be clarifying. So if you would like more information on whatever we see here in this reading, I highly recommend that you check out the about section of this of my channel, where you will see all the information for a personal reading. And what we'll do is we'll take out one card, please, for the Gemini men. Special message for Gemini men for this new year of 2022. We got that one. And a special message for our Gemini ladies for this new year of 2022. They are both the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck and the Soulful Woman deck are very large decks. So a little can be a little bit challenging to hold on to. Got it. All right. Put that here to the side. Also, I do want to remind you that this is your life. You are the one who is living it. Therefore, I want you to make sure that you make the best decisions that benefit you. Okay, not anyone else but yourself. Um, that's another reason why I read from the sun sign perspective, just because I want you to be sure that this is your message and that it resonates for you. All right. And okay, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else? If I remember it, we'll get into it. Okay. All right. So we're gonna take a look at your overall, underall messages for the year. Just trying to keep the sage going. I can't keep my sage going for long. Uh, let's see. Oh, very interesting. Libra had the devil too, but Libra had it in reference to the self, in the self position. You have it in your overall position. So there are some changes that you're going to need to make, things that you need to be aware of in all aspects of your life. Lots of temptation, maybe codependencies. I know that's a word that gets thrown around a lot. I don't like to use it, but it is part of um, the devil attachment. It could be addictions, vices, all those kinds of things. So you need to be wary of where you have these tendencies in the different areas of your life and begin to work on them. So there's going to be a need for some soul searching this year. It could be too that it, it could be in relation to the fact to the whole give and take, right? So we have the Six of Pentacles here in your underall. So it's like, all right, you got all these, you have this tendency, right? So be careful if it's, I want to say gluttony, but I don't know if that's necessarily the word. It could be if you're the person who's always receiving. So if that's the case, it's going to be time for you to start giving back, start reciprocating what you're receiving. Because if not, I can tell you right now, and we all already know this. So this isn't really like rocket science at this point. It's more of like if you don't begin to give in return, not because you're expected to, but because you know that you can and you should, then you're going to receive, consequences for being that way. So it may be a need for you to watch how you're constantly receiving or if you're always giving away. And if you're always giving away, who are you giving away to? What are you giving so much of your time, energy, um, and attention to? We got to be very mindful of that. And so that's something that's very, very important. All right, so let's take a look in love. What are you going to be dealing with in love in this year? And when it comes to love, there are options, right? You have a choice to make. When I see the Two of Wands, for me, the decision has already been made. It's just a matter of moving to take action and either to speak on the decision or act on the decision that you have made. Okay. So you've already picked, you've already decided what it is that you want in love, who you want in love, why you want it, how you want it, when you want it, where you want it. Right. You've made those decisions already. It's all set. Like in your mind, you got it. And now it's just a matter of taking action on it. What's the next step? The next step is the Three of Wands. So it's like, all right. So now you're gonna wait to see what's gonna come towards you, but you've already made the first step, which is making decisions. Now you got to take action on these decisions. You have to move in that direction. Okay. Um, I do want to warn you when I read the cards, when I look, I kind of worry a little bit whenever I see any of the characters facing to the left. Um, Only because when the character is drawn facing to the left, for me, that's almost like looking back into the past. So you've made the choice, you know what you want, but you're still looking back into the past. Um, be mindful of what it is. If whatever for whatever reason you're looking into the past, I want you to remember that you need to keep in mind why is that in the past now. Okay, what lessons have you learned from it, and keep it going. All right, we don't need to go back there, especially if you're the one who's been giving all the time. Um, Even if you were the one who was taking all the time, now you know that in the next relationship you're going to have to give, whether it's to yourself, giving back to yourself, or giving back to someone else, making sure that there is balance, that there is harmony. There is disbalance. There's a lack of equilibrium in your relationships. Okay, but only you would know in what area, how, and what aspect, what type of loving relationship that could be, right? So it could be love, it could be romantic. In reference to love, it could be romantic, platonic, related to family, related to friends, those kind of children, right? Your spouse, your significant other, um, and- or to yourself, you know. Let's take a look at your career. I'm sorry, Geminis. I feel like I'm kind of blasting through your reading, but doing great here. I've completely overextended time in the other videos. I want to make sure I am doing justice to you. Okay, or for you, rather. Next, we have when it comes to career, we have the hanged man. You got yourself stuck in limbo. You feel stuck. You feel like you're in limbo. It could be because you're comfortable where you are, and in order to move from the position that you're in, you have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to, um, yes, see things from a different perspective, but you don't want to. Like, you're not rushing to do any of those things. I don't know what it is you're waiting for. Maybe you're waiting for something to happen, something to light a fire up your rear in order to get you moving. Um, but you don't need that because you can easily take yourself out of this limbo position. You can easily take yourself out of whatever the position is that you're in at this moment, as far as your career is concerned, your work, and make it better. And it could be, as I think about it, because if this was in reverse, that means that you've been able to see the other side. That means that you received some sort of enlightenment, epiphany. It's almost like basically an Eight of Swords. Yes, I understand and know that the Hangman is the sign of Pisces, right? But even so, even Pisces are very They're very strategic, believe it or not, because they spend a lot of time in their minds, right? Because they're known to be the daydreamer, right? Somewhat ditzy and head stuck in the clouds and all that kind of stuff. Well, this would be typical of Pisces, but again, Pisces is very strategic. Okay. Um, they don't necessarily wear their hearts on their sleeves or expose their emotions so freely as maybe their fellow water sign, the Cancer, right? And they're secretive too, but not to the extent of a Scorpio, all right? Because they're genuinely able to go with the flow. But my point is, I was making the comparison, right? The point is, what makes Pisces stick out is that even though that they're a dreamer, even though that they're always thinking of creative new ideas of how to move forward or do things, or they do that by getting in their heads and getting stuck in their heads. So when you're reversed, this is equal to but greater than, yes, I went math, I went in think of the mathematical operations, right? Equal to and or greater than the Ace of Swords, which is that moment of clarity, epiphany, that light bulb moment, that aha, right? That's what this is if it were in the reverse. But to do that, I think what you're there. I like the blues down here. You're wearing blue. There's red. There's we got fire. We got earth. I'm looking at the elements. I want to see if there's anything missing. So Gemini, so far right now, we don't see any strategy, any plans behind it. Maybe that's what you need to do as you plan out what it is that you want to achieve, accomplish, and obtain, and be able to maintain in this new year in reference to career. And I think that once you plan it out, this is going to allow you to come out of this position that you are originally in, and you're going to see how everything falls in place once you begin to plan it out, and you'll be able to say, aha, I get it, and get this in reverse and finally get yourself out of that limbo. So, definitely pen and paper, write it all out. How do you want it? And this is great, especially for manifesting. So, um, this is something that you definitely should work on. Have it with you. Put it, next to your desk. A special little notebook next to your desk. You can create a chart if you need to. Get Be like a Pisces and get creative. Make this entertaining for yourself, even if you don't do it all in one day. But every day, add to that plan. How do you? What is, and maybe even work backwards. Um, for Gemini's, I take you guys are extremely dear to me. I absolutely love you, Gemini's. I am a Gemini moon myself, so it could be that too. But I do have two Gemini siblings, not just one, but two. And it's really funny that the hangman is here because that is a card of Pisces. I do have a Pisces sibling, and both of my children are Pisces. So, even more of an insight. This has nothing to, I just thought I'd share that with you. And that's just wow. I think I want you to see that if this is for you, this is all somehow in your chart, in your families as well. And why you Geminis are very dear to me. And why I guess I spend so much time on the hanged man. I can understand that, I feel like I can, it's easier to explain it that way. And that's because of the relationships that I have, um, which is just, a bonus thing. Okay. So plan it out. And yes, Pisces are very creative. So think of a way that you, Gemini is extremely creative. very attentive to detail. So this is going to be very important for you when you plan out what it is your career goals are for this new year. Start planning it out. Get the big icons first, get the big picture first, and then because when you get the big picture, you can work backwards and work on all the minor details and get it to where you want it, and that can help you to, again, come out of this hangman position, um, into a reverse position. So you finally get that aha moment. You know what you need to do next and go in that direction and get yourself out of limbo. All right, let's take that's great for career. It's a little challenging, but it's definitely doable. Let's take a look at self. There is a need to work on self love. That is your theme for yourself, on what to work on with yourself in this new year of 2022. And that is to truly and genuinely accept yourself for who you are, acknowledge all the good, right? All the pros and I want to say pros and cons, but all of your great qualities and all of your flaws, and just appreciate all of that that makes you you, and to love yourself. So it could be based on this. You give so much then. You have this thing where, oh, it just makes me think of a phrase that someone would tell me, and that is, you're a glutton for punishment. Okay, that's probably why the word gluttony came to my mind in the beginning. You're a for punishment. You are continuously giving and generous when you don't need to be, and you really need to pour into yourself, or rather, fill yourself up with all that generosity, with all that love, attention, and affection. And you can do that by by dedicating a time, even if it means scheduling it in, even while you're creating your career plan. You can schedule in, you can add here, this is a good time to do this is a good time to do that, or like, like a sub chart or something. I don't know, I can't think anymore. When it comes to charts, I don't. There's so many. But the point is while you're figuring out love, while you're figuring out career and finances, there is that need to figure yourself out as well. And it's not just in love. I think too it's on a spiritual level. Definitely needing to get in tune with yourself, especially if you're on a spiritual journey. There's a need to dedicate more time in order to really build this new relationship with your spiritual team. Um, and really establish a strong foundation with your spiritual self, your spiritual team, loving yourself, and being generous with yourself. So make sure that you take care of yourself, and um, it's okay to be selfish sometimes. It's okay to be selfish with your time. It's okay to be selfish with you. People will live. And if they can't, it's too much for them, tell them to go kick rocks. You're the Queen of Swords. Remember, you're a Gemini. King of Swords. It don't matter. So, you are not ice cold as people would like to make you out to be. um, you just cut through the nonsense. And this time it's time to cut through that nonsense of being so generous and living more on yourself. All right. So let's take a look at your advice cards. We have death. Yes. Let go of this devil. Let go of being so extra generous to those who are not worthy of all your love and affection, attention, energy, protection, even. Um, and learn dedicate more time in loving yourself. And Tower. I did say I felt that your reading was going to be a little deep, didn't I? Mm-hmm. When you begin to cut this off, when you begin to focus on yourself, right? Because even in love, it could be the love of self. It doesn't. It could be that you chose yourself instead, not that you chose another person, and that's okay. Because sometimes we need to work on ourselves, and that's beautiful. That's wonderful. Um, and even if you chose a person, you've chosen someone who's going to be just as giving as you. That's what you want. And so there's a need to change all this because what's going to happen is if you don't take care of yourself, everything about you is going to take a huge hit. Excuse me. That's it. You're getting sick. You don't take care of yourself, you're going to have some major. It's going to come out in the form of health. Okay? Um that's going to be the tower moment. And you have one, two, three, four major arcana cards out of seven. Um, so if you don't get yourself together, if you don't make the changes that you need to make, this is coming for you. You need to make the transformations. Try to do this on your own. There's a lot of black in this card, so you're very close to this tower. You got some time. You got red. You got some time. You got the white rose here. You got some time. The scythe, the death is holding the scythe very close to the rose, the stem of the rose. You need to do something, and I really hope that you do. Love yourself more, okay? To hell with anybody else. To hell with the norms of society. To hell with what people think are beautiful. To all those, to heck with all of that. All right. We don't. Those times are over. That's done with. All right. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And if you don't love yourself and do this for yourself, who is? Exactly. So get to it, get to work. Let's take a look at the messages for each of you this year. For Gemini men, we have, oh, the serpent. In, yeah, you, not for nothing, but I see it clear on my computer screen than I do in person. We have wings, so there's communication. It's a two-headed serpent, okay, and it's almost yin and yang, okay. Is it two-headed or is it two separate serpents? Thus, it's only one, so it's a two-headed serpent. Um, Everything is the opposite. It's like the different extremes, the opposite extremes on each end. Wow. I feel like I have not come across this card at all. So I'm kind of like at a loss for words. I don't know. I feel like you need to be mindful of deceit. Need to be mindful of even trying to kid yourself. There's no room for any of that. There's no need for that, but you're one person. You don't need to pull yourself in so many different directions. Focus on what it is that you want and work on that. You need to be mindful of extremes, especially with giving and receiving. Okay, you need to come into harmony with all of that. You need to have that balanced. Before we go on, let's take a look at what the message from the card actually is. So that's number 46. So I'm going to read from the book itself. There's three parts. I didn't do this for the other um, signs, but in the book, for each card, there's the essence, the main perspective of the card, the invitation, and if the card is in reverse, that is the medicine that you need to take. So I'm just going to read the essence and the invitation. I'm going to try to go through it quickly but clearly, okay? So it says the serpent is the life force. I can't even read. I can't talk. I can't read. I apologize for all of my stumbling and my stuttering. I'm going to try it again. The spirit is the life force of Mother Earth. The coiled serpent of the Kundalini brings passion, healing, and renewal. She offers us the fruit of the tree of knowledge in the Garden of Eden and reminds us to shed the past the way she sheds her tired old skin. Serpent comes to offer you the forbidden fruit that will set your passion and creativity free. A very interesting card. Very interesting. The invitation. The serpent power of the Kundalini is stirring within your chakras, gently asking you to embrace its mystery. Shed the old skin that you have been so attached to and welcome the vulnerable pink underbelly that will bring you a fresh experience of your life. Your passion and sexuality are awakening, and this can be scary. Trust the wisdom of serpent to transform your sensual energies into beautiful, original manifestations. Gemini men, very interesting. Um, so this is so in loving yourself and working on yourself and building, I would say, setting boundaries, creating um professional goals and plans, all of that's going to help to really awaken this new fiery passion within you and make sure you wrap it up unless you're looking for babies. And so this is, remember I said, do you need a fire to be lit up the rear? And well, it's going to light up something all right, but it's. Wow. Very interesting. Again, I have not come across this card before, so I wasn't sure how to read it. Um, but it's definitely talks of a transformation, old into the new, which still kind of, and I did say it's kind of yin and yang, kind of, what have you. Um, I still, you still need to be mindful of what you were accepting in the past, of always being the one to give when it's time to receive. And we have transformation and we have the tower. So, Gemini men, I'm a, let's get over this. Let's get over the devil because it's time for you to work on you and be a better you this year. Definitely new year, new you. All right, Gemini men, thank you for the opportunity to read for you. And let's take a look at Gemini ladies. Gemini ladies, it's a little bit more straightforward. You have the in the flow card. When I am in the flow, magic happens. And this is actually purple. I don't know why it's coming up blue um, on the card. Does it matter? Oh, it's just the lighting, maybe? I, mm, yeah, okay. Damn, that's bright. Are we gonna leave it alone? I'm not gonna mess with it. We're at the end anyway. So, in the flow, when you're going with the flow of things, you kind of, again, that in your mind, being in your mind, really planning out, being creative. Great things will happen. Magic happens. So that's when your manifestations are really gonna come through. Um, So work on yourself. Think about what it is that you really want, um, and hopefully they will all come true for you. And that's it. That's all for today. Wow, pretty cool. So thank you, Gemini's, for giving me the opportunity to read for you. I hope that you have a great 2022. I will be putting out more readings. Again, if you're interested in a more personalized reading, please check the About tab on my channel for all the information there. And send me an email so we can do something for you. So until the next time we read again, bye.